Hey, it's Fuzzy back here. All right, you guys, string line, all right, for your steel or whatever, as long as it'll fit the 0.095 of an inch string width, okay? This particular brand I've used for like 20 years, and I love it. The steel stuff is shit, I'll tell you what. You better put some heavy-duty safety glasses on for that stuff. But I love this stuff. It's mineral-based stuff, and you can get it right on Amazon now. You don't have to go to the dealer or nothing, and there's a link in the description if you want one. It's expensive, but it lasts a long time. This roll right here, now that's a smaller roll, and I'll show you what I do with the big rolls to the smaller rolls. But anyway, I soak it in water, and it loves water. I'll tell you what, and it makes the string soft, for the first 2-3 days, and then when it does start to get hard, after you got your line on your head, you just throw it in there like that and let it soak overnight. Grab it in the morning, and off you go. All right. Okay. So so I soak it in there. I just leave it in there, and I pull it out as I need. Tie a knot on the end and put it back in there. And I don't know if you guys remember those buckets, but I think you can still get them. But this thing is old, man. That thing is I think about 19 years old. And that's when we got that, and it's done its thing ever since. I take it inside in the wintertime and whatever have you. Don't let it freeze. I leave the water in there all the time. And I do change the water out because it gets kind of yucky in there. But anyway, okay, let me show you what I do with this roll, and then we're going to get into how you put the string on the head itself. All right. Okay, so I rigged this up. I made this to go from spool to spool, and what I do is I just put the spool on here. And I've got a little cap that I put on here. Don't ask me where I got this stuff. I think these come from a washing machine or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter where I got them. Put that on there so it can't come off, and so on and so forth. So we're going to keep that on there now, and then we're going to put the new line on this smaller spool, which will go in the water when that spool runs out. So we put this back on, and then you just start. I'm not going to do it right now, but then you just start the spool string on this spool. You find a hole, and there's a hole in here that I've drilled. I don't remember if there was a hole there or not, but maybe if not, I drilled it in. And then you stick the string in there, and you start spinning it on. And this one spins at the same time, and you fill that up, and you've got yourself a new roll. How's that work? This big roll, 1,375 feet, will fill this twice, okay? So you can get 2 out of that. All right, so that's all I got to say about that. And we're going to get into showing you how to put string in this. Okay, guys, I don't know if this microphone is working, but I'm hoping you can hear me. Okay, so string line on your trimmer head. Okay, so let's install some. I've got an empty trimmer head right here, so we're going to put that on. All right, my string, you pull it out and you cut it off, and always use a utility knife, okay? So that, because it makes your edge nice and flat, and you don't have to deal with edges that are bent or whatever. So just cut that off, and now you take that and you take this out, and you go as long as you can with 2 arms. All right. Now I'm 5'8", so that's got to be roughly 5'8". You do that twice. Okay. Find your spot, cut it off. All right, that's one side. And you do it again. And then you do it again. Then you cut it off. Tie the end. Put it back in there. All good. Okay, so now you got two pieces, right? Now you know the ends are cut off really good, really good. Now you see two little slots in here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but the slots are right there. Okay, so you throw that into a slot. Some of these you might have to just work it in because they're pretty tight. Something like that, and it should go in about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little more, 3/8. Okay, so the first line you want to put on the top, okay, because these have got the little slots that will hold the line from coming out. Now you want to go in the hole and then backwards on that, okay? So don't go the same way you put that in the hole. Go the opposite of the hole, okay? So you flip that and you take it all the way around, and we'll take this all the way through so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so now keep yourself about maybe 3-4 inches of that and put it in the hole, and it sits there, okay? And it's on the angle where it's away from the other line that's going in. You see that? All right. You take your other one, put it in the other hole. It doesn't matter, there's two holes, so one on each side. You can put it in the same hole or same side, doesn't matter, and you stick it in there again, about as far as it'll go, and then turn it backwards to the hole, right? That's hard to do with the camera, but anyway. Okay, so backwards. So now you're going basically the same way of the other line, okay? Now this one here, you're gonna keep like that, and that doesn't hook into there, okay? Now this is the steel ones. Now I don't know about other brands, if it does that or not. You can get the quick heads where you put the ends in and turn the head itself. You can get those too, but I don't use those. Those are too heavy for me, and I don't like them. They're bigger too, right? They're bigger around than the old style heads. But anyway, that's what you do right there. And what I do is, if I'm not going to use this, I just throw it in this spring, kind of like that, so it doesn't unravel itself, like that. All right, all you got to do is do that, okay? So just make sure that everything's secure, kind of. If it comes off, it comes off. No big deal, right? You can rewrap it again. But this spring in here is stainless steel, and that won't rust. Okay, that is huge, right? I didn't know that until I started doing this, and it didn't rust. So what I do is just do this, throw it in a bucket of water, and I've always got a spare roll to go. And when the other one, when that runs out, or redo the other one and throw it back in there when this one runs out, back and forth. But it all works good in the end. But make sure you cut that with a utility knife. I'll tell you what, if you use a like a crimp, like a wire cutter or a pliers, you know how they got the little cutter on the end, and you can cut wire with it. What that does is squeezes the line together to make it flat on the end, and you can't get it in that little hole to start your string, and then you got to find a utility knife or whatever to cut it straight. Believe me, it's a pain in the butt. Anyway, I hope that helps. Okay guys, there's links in the description for this stuff. There's this is a big roll, 1,375 feet. There's smaller rolls, and then there's one more smaller roll. I don't know, 900 feet, 1,000 feet, something like that. Yeah, and I haven't seen it on Amazon ever. I looked a couple years ago, and it was not there, and they sell it on there now. And I'll tell you, it's convenient as heck, because it just comes right to the door. But all in all, there you go. Hope that all that helps. Bye now.